from John Thiel Gymnasium in Galesburg, Illinois. It's the 3A Galesburg sectional semifinal between the Sterling Golden Warriors and the Metamora Redbirds. Good evening, everyone, and welcome into tonight's broadcast alongside Ethan Carboni. I'm Jonathan Michael. Should be a great contest on hand tonight. Lots of Metamora fans here in attendance, and we're already going to get started here with the national anthem real quick, but just really quickly, Ethan, it should be a great game here tonight.
Indeed, I'm excited. We have a lot of talent, multiple top first-team all-conference players on both sides, and this should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for this game.
The road to state will end tonight for either the Golden Warriors or the Redbirds in front of a packed house here in Galesburg. We'll step aside real quick for the national anthem, come back for on Clutch Sports. A recorded version of the national anthem, but a great one nevertheless. Heard it here on back-to-back nights here in Galesburg. Last night we were in this gym, Ethan, as we saw Rich Woods take down Rock Island in the first semifinal of this sectional. Winner will play the Knights here on Friday. Right now it's the Golden Warriors and the Metamora Redbirds. Sterling comes in the #1 seed in the Dunlap, or rather no, I should say they were in a different regional, but Sterling nevertheless having a good season, 24-8. Metamora 29-2. They've won 27 straight. And Ethan, obviously, like you said, lots of talent up and down that roster. Who are you looking at tonight?
So for me, obviously, you gotta look at Ethan Kaiser, Herr Jordan. He was a starter on the team that finished second in the state Class 3A. Absolute beast, committed to South Alabama, who actually plays tomorrow in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. So it'll be fun for him. Got a potential win tonight and watch his future team play tomorrow.
Certainly, and look on the other side, don't forget about Sterling. They're led by a three-headed monster on offense. Those three players being Andre Claver, a junior guard, leading the team with 17 points per game, and also J.P. Schilling, a senior guard who is coming off the second triple-double in Sterling High School history. Yeah, you heard me right. Triple-double, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists in the regional title game against Ottawa. And Lucas Austin, averaging about 16 and a half a game, a second-team All-Western Big Six selection. Those are the three to watch for. Sterling, who comes in averaging 68 points a game. And those three that we mentioned are joined by Caden Phillips and Kale Ryan in the starting lineup for Sterling.
And something to keep in notice, there are 4 players that are 6'5" or above this game, 3 of which are on Metamora. One of which, though, including Luke Hopp, who's 6'7", the backup big for them, who is going to be very key off the bench. As we can hear Metamora's student section cheering loudly already before the tip.
Luke Hopp, he's in the starting lineup for Metamora. Like you said, Ethan, the height for Metamora is obviously a big factor. Also depth as well and experience. The Redbirds seem to have it all, and they win the tip. They're going right to left, wearing their home whites with red numbers and black trim. It's Mason on the left side, floats it up on the baseline, no good. Rebounded by J.P. Schilling. Sterling now goes left to right. Deep three from Schilling off the front iron. Sterling, the Golden Warriors, are in their away blues with a yellow script that says Sterling. Yellow numbers and white trim. Here's a fast break opportunity. It's Caden Phillips wide open, and he lays it in off of the three-pointer miss from Ethan Kaiser.
And just like that, the fast-paced offense from Sterling is going to be key in this game, as both of these teams can score and score fast. They just got to be the faster one.
Metamora, they can obviously put points up on the board too, but it's more of a question of how up to the task is their defense tonight, as Swanson turns around and buries it. That's Metamora's first bucket of the game, and much to the approval of the couple hundred, if maybe not, maybe pushing 1,000 Metamora fans potentially here in John Thiel Gymnasium. Schilling drives in for Sterling, count it, and the foul. He's got a layup there, and Taylor Mason, guilty party there for Metamora. So Sterling getting started off on the right foot. Obviously, I think, if you look at it, they're the underdogs here tonight. But obviously, you don't want to tell them that. But even still, it's important for them to get off to a quick start tonight.
Indeed, and right there, Metamora tried to get the block. However, it just wouldn't work there, as he nearly jumped over the opposing player in Schilling.
Tyler Mason with the block attempt. Mason, a player that's been able to do a little bit of everything this year for Metamora. Now here's Swanson backing down Schilling in the post, turns around, and it's good again. Tyson Swanson 2 for 2 from the field in the early going. Both of them coming in a higher percentage looks in the paint. 6:25 to go here in the first quarter. Glad you're with us for live audio coverage on ClutchSportsIL.com. Schilling elevates, free throw line jumper, good for Sterling. And boy, Ethan, this offense coming in, this when we knew it was something to talk about. It's been impressive so far.
That's a hard screen there too by Luke Hopp. Being 6'7" definitely helps here, especially when he's able to move as quick as he can.
Twin Towers and Hopp and Kaiser, obviously big for Metamora. It's a three ball deep from Lucas Austin off the mark. Offensive rebound brought in by Austin, and Swanson can't block it. Austin comes in for the bucket. A 9-4 start from Sterling, and they lead by 5 with about 5:40 to go here in the first quarter.
And we see this full court press by Sterling. If they're able to manage to hold this and contain Metamora, this will be huge.
And come over the steal here in the half court. That's Claver, lays it in, and the Sterling student section, clad in their Hawaiian themes, goes crazy.
Right there. The full court press is going to be very key to Sterling today.
And Tucker dribbled it off of his foot. Now Swanson's in some trouble, drives it in, slams it with one hand. Tyson Swanson, clear the way. Huge dunk there from Metamora to get some energy back into a squad that was needing it.
Huge play there. That could potentially change the outcome of this first quarter.
Free ball from Schilling is no good, goes over the backboard, and now back to Metamora. But obviously lots of Metamora fans here in this gym, Ethan, and they were allowed to start out those 2 early buckets from Swanson, but after Sterling went on their little bit of a run there, it seemed like the life had just been sucked out of this Metamora side.
It definitely did. But the thing about basketball is when a player makes a big play, the energy goes right back up, and it definitely can change the momentum of the game.
Metamora looking a little bit more in rhythm now. Swanson almost turned it over. Tucker in a little bit of trouble and turns it over. Phillips took it out of his hands. Dow driving in. Kaiser swats them into oblivion and stares him down.
I think they called a foul there on that.
I think they did. Kaiser, that was so loud in this gym, didn't hear the whistle blow. It's on the opposite side of the court from where we are as well. But there was definitely some contact there. I would have been surprised if I would have gotten out of that with no foul. Kaiser will be his first, team second. And Caden Phillips knocks down his first free throw at the line. Sterling getting a look back at their previous game, their regional title game against Ottawa. Went just 2 for 6 from the free throw line. Phillips knocks in his second. And the Golden Warriors get a 7-point advantage back.
And again with the full court press, this is generally going to be the key to Sterling's game if they can continue to throw off Metamora as they have so far this game.
Remember that big three of Claver, Schilling, and Austin playing well. Phillips also, he's got 4 points. Metamora working around now is Hop at the top of the key. Now here's Tucker. Also at the top of the key, gives it back over to Kaiser. Far wing three, good! Ethan Kaiser drains the deep ball there for the Redbirds. Now they were back to within 4.
With a man in his face too. Something about this Metamora team is they love the 3-ball and they will shoot it when they have that open shot, or even when it's defended just as well as it was there.
Mid-range from Austin is no good on the other end. Now here comes the Redbirds. Something about Ethan Kaiser was, last year and during their playoff run, he really began soaking the 3-ball well as Tucker goes in for a floater. Metamora creeping right back in at 13-11 with 3:26 to go here in Galesburg.
It's interesting because both of these teams now have been on a couple runs, yet no timeouts have been called as both teams' coaches are letting them play.
It's a good observation. I was wondering that as well. We saw Danny Greaves thought he might take one early and say, hey, boys, let's reset ourselves here, but lets his team play, and obviously it's an experienced team, and that's the benefit of having it. You don't need to call that timeout. They know what to fix. Now here's Sterling on the other end. Driving baseline, Kale Ryan lays it up and in. And these teams continue to trade buckets. Warriors by 4, then 3 to go in the first quarter.
It's looking really good right now for both sides on offense. It's just got to be the defensive side. This is such a close game.
Great cut there from Swanson, and he flies in for another close look. He's got 8. That leads all scores so far here this evening. Last night, KJ Lamonte led all scores with 26 for Rock Island, who fell 73-52 to the Richwoods Knights. We're going to their first sectional title game since 2011 and travel on the other end. Now turn it back over. Claver walked with it, or Claver, I should say, for Sterling. Now Metamora has a chance to tie or take the lead.
And right there, that's something that could be key. As Metamora, you get possession back. You're down to 2 minutes left in this quarter. Take it slow now, run your style of play, and get the lead or potentially tie it up and continue your style throughout the rest of the game.
Both these teams had no trouble getting buckets, so whenever you don't, it maybe feels like you missed something. And that's to count the bucket. Tyler Mason got fouled and continued going up to the hoop, lays it in. And they'll have a chance to give Metamora, the defending state second place team, 3A. Slipped up there, but an all-time classic they had last year against Sacred Heart Griffin. But those two teams are, I think most would say they're on the inside track to potentially meet in the state semifinals. We were both on the same side of that bracket, so we won't get a Cyclones Redbirds state title rematch if both teams were to go that far. But they could see each other in the semis. 15-all here as Mason's free throw is off the mark. Now here's Schilling, drives in, spins around on Mason, lays it up and in. And Schilling's got 7.
And Schilling has just been able to do whatever he wants, driving to the paint and getting those easy buckets.
He's their second leading scorer in school history. Came in with 1,289 with his effort tonight is on now to 1,296. Tucker drives the lane on the left hand, is good. Drew Tucker, one of a couple Redbirds that are so crafty around the basket. Now Sterling quickly the other way, and as Schilling stepped out, turnover back to the Redbirds. And I'm sure you can probably hear it, all the fans making some noise.
As now Kale Ryan checks in for the Golden Warriors with 1:13 left in the first quarter. Metamora possession, 17-all. This is shaping up to be one heck of a game.
Neck and neck here in the first quarter. 1 minute to go now in Galesburg. Glad you're with us here on ClutchSportsIL.com. As Zobrist kicks to Kaiser. 3-ball off the mark. And it was deflected off of a Redbird. It went off of a Golden Warrior, but it was because looked like that was either Tucker or Swanson that pushed it
and
out.
Both teams are definitely taking advantage of their fast style of play. And they're playing like there is a shot clock, even though there is not one yet in high school ball.
Yeah, here in Galesburg, a nice setup, very nice gym here. John Thiel Gymnasium, very nice facilities as we've seen all around the place. And there is a legitimate shot clock operating device on top of the basket. Obviously, the shot clock itself is obviously not on, but if I just say a word to move in that direction, Galesburg would be all set. 15 seconds now to go here in the first quarter. Now Schilling stands near half court with Mason guarding him. He'll get a screen from Austin to the right, now to the left. Now it's Schilling on Kaiser now with 5, drives baseline, finds Ryan wide open. Great cut there from K.O. Ryan. And that's how the first quarter will end. Prayer at the horn is no good from Tyler Mason. What a first quarter by the Golden Warriors from Sterling, leading 19-17, the number 1 team in the state. Metamora Redbirds, an offensive thriller.
This has been incredible. Claver, Schilling, and Austin have all done their jobs perfectly for Sterling. They've all scored when they've been able to. They've defended as best as they could, although it's hard to defend Metamora's 3, 4, 5, whatever headed monster that they have. But they're doing a terrific job handling the scoring load, and heading into the second quarter with even just a 2-point lead is huge.
Definitely, obviously, they want to say, if you win all 4 quarters, you're going to win the ball game. Sterling is 1 quarter of the way there. Still lots left to play here in Galesburg. And there you see the Sterling student section chanting, "We can't hear you." Some nice student section banter between these 2 schools. But, Ethan, you mentioned, obviously, both teams, getting out to a good start offensively. And, obviously, Claver, Schilling, and Austin, who, by the way, all those players combined for 59 of their 74 points in their last game. Metamora, obviously a deep team as well. Sterling's shared the rock. 5 different players have scored in that first quarter, and they'll start with the basketball to start quarter number 2. Here's Austin being defended by Kaiser, kicks it out. Kyle Billings off the bench. 3 ball is no good. Now Kaiser brings in the board. Now here comes Mason across half court. Finds Zobrist on the baseline. He settles for a mid-range J. No good, but Tyson Swanson there for the rebound. Kicks it out. Kaiser, 3. Almost went down, but not quite.
This might just be me, John, but have you also noticed the severity of how the defensive rebounds have been hard to get?
Certainly, as Schilling lays it in. He's up to 9 now for the Golden Warriors and extends that lead back out to 4. So Metamora got down early and came back, tied it up at 15, but haven't been able to take the lead. But Tyler Mason slams it home. Has another burst of energy there for the Redbirds.
Seems like the Redbird student section gets very loud whenever they have a thunderous dunk or a block, but before then, I'd argue that Sterling's, even though smaller, section might be louder.
Battle of student section as well here tonight. Now the Golden Warriors swinging around. Schilling will slow it down up top. Now he's got Zobrist and Mason on him. Fakes them out both. Drains the 3. J.P. Schilling following up a triple-double already with 12 points. And the Golden Warriors lead by 5. 6:23 to go here in the second quarter.
And right here is when Metamora needs to score. Down 5. Your opponent has the momentum. This is necessary.
And Swanson turns it around, gets it to go. He's now in double figures for the Redbirds. Now with 10, they'll have a chance to make it 11 and bring Metamora to within 2. Boy, Swanson's been putting in major work down there in the post. And again, Ethan, Swanson is, he's definitely a big fella, and, he's got some size to him. Maybe he does, when you look at him, doesn't look like your typical maybe big man, your big 4, but he really is very strong for Metamora in the post.
And to be fair, you don't need to necessarily be tall to play the 4. I mean, you can look at Charles Barkley at 6'6", who dominated the NBA.
Also if you want to look at more local for Bradley, maybe like Jashawn Henry, standing about 6'6" or 6'7", and plays it forward pretty well. So now with the ball, 5:50 to go here in Galesburg in the second quarter, and Schilling's layup, or rather that was Claver's layup, was no good. Now the other way, Tucker threw one up, thought he got fouled and didn't, but keeping it alive is the Redbirds.
And that pass went through the legs before he went out of bounds. That was a terrific pass there by the Redbirds.
That was in the near corner. I didn't get an angle of it. Now here's Mason on the drive, and there's a push. That'll go on Sterling. That'll be their third foul of the first half. The first two fouls went on Claver and Billings. Each of them have one. That one went on K.O. Ryan. That's his first. Now it's Swanson, again near the paint, turns around and says he's too little. Put up a little hook shot off the glass. Now he's got 13, and he's really starting to heat up for Metamora.
And already, Metamora is tied before that score by Sterling, 26-24.
Lucas Austin continuing the track meet here in Galesburg. Electricity everywhere. There's a lightning bolt there at center court, home of the Silver Streaks. It's indicative of the energy in this gym tonight. Kaiser's three, got it! Metamora now in the lead. Ethan Kaiser, can't forget about him from behind the arc. You could say he's arguably Metamora's best three-point shooter.
And that's now the first lead for Metamora today, which is crazy to say based off how well they played so far on offense.
4:32 to go here in the second quarter. Schilling turns around, what a feed. Caden Phillips. Schilling was in the air, turned around, looked like he was gonna shoot, and pass out of the shot. Found a cutting Phillips along the baseline. Sterling now with the lead again. Play the sectional title game on Friday against Richwoods. Whichever one of these teams is going to be a doozy in terms of offense, because the Richwoods shot the ball very well last night. A 63% clip.
That'll definitely be an interesting game because both of these teams have height, and Richwoods can handle height with ease.
Kaiser steps into a three off the back iron. And look who it is, Tyler Mason, offensive board. Swanson lays it in. Tyson Swanson has over half of Metamora's points, and now he also drew the foul as well. Count the bucket, Tyson Swanson, early candidate for maybe the game of his life. 15 points with 3:58 to go here in the second quarter.
15 points, not even at halftime yet for a high school basketball game, is absolutely insane. Swanson, if he keeps this up, will easily have a career high.
Well, to maybe ask him after the game what his career high is. He's had lots of good games on Clutch Sports Media as he drains the free throw. Now got 16. Turning into maybe the J.P. Schilling versus Tyson Swanson heavyweight title bout. All tied up. All right, so now it's 30-28. Now it's 30 all. An issue with the scoreboard here in Galesburg. And they still can't get it right. Metamora fans are irate right now, but it is 30 all.
That's the beauty of high school basketball. They notice every little mistake with the scoreboard, which is something that you don't see that
Swanson's
often.
three, no good. But Kendrick Schaffer, or rather Nick Walker, was there for the offensive rebound and had it, but it went off of his foot. And now we go back to Sterling, tied up at 30. 3:18 to go. Walker will check out, and Luke Hopp comes back in for the Redbirds.
Hopp's been very good on defense so far. He's been able to play the perimeter and inside, no matter his opponent's height, as he's been able to take advantage of them in size or speed or strength.
Golden Warriors offense, which has been playing like a well-oiled machine here tonight, will go to work. Under 3 minutes to go in the second quarter, and traveling with it is K.O. Ryan. Got the pass there in the corner and couldn't make up his mind and took 2 steps before he dribbled. Now I'll give it back to Swanson and the Redbirds. If you're just tuning in, Swanson already at 16 points for Metamora. Ethan Kaiser's also got 6 on a pair of threes. Now it's Hop on the perimeter. Forwards out there being guarded by Austin. Now gives it over to Mason. Drives in on the left side, gets some contact, no call, but still gets it to fall. Tyler Mason, great body control there. And Metamora now regains their narrow lead.
So far, Metamora has just been able to get into the paint without any difficulty. And when whenever they have the open three, they take that as well.
Tucker in transition gets it to go. And like you said, Ethan, the Redbirds getting some very high percentage looks right around the paint. Sterling's got to find a way to lock down near the 10. Now driving in, it's Claver kicking back out. And now here's Ryan's three for an iron. 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. I mean, Metamora starting to get some steam chugging on their engine.
Indeed, and as we look here, Metamora is trying to look for a three ball in this possession, which is very intriguing.
They're throwing things out around the, now they kick it down low. It's Swanson near the paint, couldn't get it to go, a rare sight tonight. But Drew Tucker right there for the offensive board. Off the glass and it couldn't fall. And a foul there on Metamora. Looks like that one, I believe, will go on Swanson. But Metamora has just been dominating Sterling on the glass tonight, getting lots of offensive rebounds.
As now both teams have 3 and 4 fouls. This game has been all quality on defense.
Foul to go on Swanson. Now Sterling gets the offensive board, but it's taken away. Credit Swanson there, forcing that turnover. Now here's Mason at the top of the key, drives in the right side. Tucker wide open in the corner, got it! Drew Tucker, he's got 9. Everybody on Metamora is getting in on the scoring, 37-30. Putting together a pretty big run here to possibly close out the first half.
And Metamora, after being down 7 earlier this game, has been able to bounce back no matter their disadvantage, and now leads by 7.
Now Sterling slowing it down. It's Schilling standing near the John Thiel Gymnasium. Image there on the court. Metamora fans come alive as they look down at Schilling right there in front of them. And now 32 to go on the clock.
There's very little movement here so far as they're trying to hold for the last shot.
Fans come to their feet. 23 seconds to go, and boy, listen to this crowd. Sterling's got the ball. We'll let the crowd tell you how this first half ends. Huge block for the Redbirds. Believe that was either Swanson or Tucker that flew in for it. Sterling had a shot, tried to get in, on the offensive rebound. And out of nowhere, just gets swatted. Again, there are lots of Redbirds in traffic down there in the area. And they end the first half with an exclamation point on defense. And again, I think that's what's going to win this ball game. Very exciting first half, although maybe not so much if you're part of the defense wins championships crowd.
Very true, although on that side of things, you can score 100 points, but if your opponent scores 101, you didn't really do too much now, did you?
True. Great first half of action here at John Thiel Gymnasium here in Galesburg in the 3A sectional semifinal. Again, the winner of this contest will play Richwoods on Friday night for the right to advance to Ottawa for super sectionals. That's where the road to state will go after this week. But a little run down to the first half here. Again, Tyson Swanson dominating that first half, 16 points, lots of offensive rebounds, really just the energizer bunny for this Metamora team. Ethan Kaiser has 6, Mason's got 6, and Tucker has 9, at least by our counts. And looking for Sterling, they got started well with JP Schilling, who's got 12, but then Metamora really started to lock in on him.
Indeed, and Sterling was able to have their way with Metamora the entire first quarter and a good chunk of the second. But once that clock hit the midway point of the second quarter, Metamora was able to figure it out on defense, force Sterling into taking bad shots, and they were able to work their fast break offense, which ended up gaining them in the end of the first half a 7-point lead.
You still have a good point there, Ethan. Again, that transition game just dominant for Metamora. Found lots of good looks either on their first chances, either maybe getting some couple layups or a couple fouls, or at least just getting some open court to set up their offense. And they're rolling to end the first half, leading by 7 for Sterling scores. I'll go like this: Andre Claver's got 2. Again, he's their leading scorer, so Redbirds have done a good job locking him up, the 6'3" junior guard who was recently named to the first team All-Western Big Six. Schilling, at least as the scoreboard says, has 14 for Sterling rather than 12. Caden Phillips has 6, and then Austin and Ryan both have 4 for the Sterling Golden Warriors. Great first half here of action. Again, glad you're with us here on ClutchSportsIL.com. Again, live audio coverage of this 3A sectional. Here at halftime, about 7 minutes left to go on the clock, so we'll take a quick break and step aside, let you reset, maybe get a drink, maybe get something to eat, go to the bathroom, do whatever you got to do. We'll come back here and see who will punch their trip to the sectional title game right here back in Galesburg on Friday. Redbirds 37, Golden Warriors 30. After the first half here on Clutch Sports Media. We'll be right back in a few minutes, folks. Welcome back to John Thiel Gymnasium here in Galesburg. Halftime is wrapping up between the Metamora Redbirds and the Sterling Golden Warriors. Metamora leading by 7 after a offensively charged first half. Sterling, though, is within arm's reach, and I'm sure if you're the Golden Warriors and head coach Ryan Vasquez, Ethan, you got to be feeling pretty good.
Indeed, and I mean, heading into half, I'm sure both coaches talked with their team about defense, because that is something that is necessary at this point. As we see a great steal there by Sterling. I'm not sure if you caught that, John.
I did, and in the corner now it's Phillips, but he stepped out of bounds. So turnover gives it back to the Redbirds here, so 17 seconds and already 2 turnovers.
Well, the defense is showing for one side at least.
It's an encouraging start, but I really think it's really signifies a better offense rather than bad defense. Both these teams just clicking at the right times. As Hop's 3 straight away was no good, but Drew Tucker brings in the offensive board and he gets fouled in the corner right in front of the Metamora student section by Lucas Austin. And that'll be Sterling's first foul.
And you're absolutely right about the better offense versus worse defense here. But both teams on the defensive side of things, especially Sterling here, will need to step it up if they want to win this game. Being down 7 after the half is something that they can't afford. As Kaiser with a very nice pass into the paint before it gets blocked, as it looks like Hop thought he was fouled there, but Sterling takes possession with Schilling driving to the hoop and throwing it off the backboard. And now Metamora takes possession.
Swanson lays it in, Euro step, up and good. He's now up to 18. He's just getting any points that he wants. It seems like down there in the paint, finding really creative ways to get it. On the drive, I think he had a dunk, also a couple offensive rebounds, some putbacks, and free throws as well.
And just like that, Swanson has just taken over this game.
3 ball and the foul. So Lucas Austin had a high arcing 3 in the far corner that almost went down, but he got fouled right there in front of the Golden Warriors bench. So he'll shoot 3 at the line. That foul going on Luke Hop for Metamora.
And Sterling here, this is exactly what they need. 3 opportunities at points as the first one goes in and out.
And Sterling, their free throws played him a little bit in their regional winning against Ottawa. They still won by enough that it wasn't really a factor. Went 2 for 6 at the line in their 74-56 victory. Second one is good there from Austin.
And now Drew Tucker takes it up now for Metamora. Just barely crosses half court as his defender falls back a bit. As Hop now dumps it right off to Mason, who drives and is fouled just right near the baseline there, as that is now Sterling's second foul of the half. As Metamora will retain possession under the basket here. As the pass gets into Swanson before handing it off to Kaiser, as he'll pump fake, make a nice move before pulling up for 3, and he'll brick in and out, as now Swanson's called for an over the back.
Sorry, Ethan, I was taking a time out there. I was talking with Galesburg's AD, talking about our broadcast situation here tonight. Obviously, it sounds like NFHS is down, so if you're a refugee coming over to Clutch Sports Media listening to tonight's game, glad you're with us. Again, we're apologizing we don't have video. Obviously, that's the reason why I couldn't do video, because of the NFHS contracts. And we heard at halftime that wasn't working, but obviously not quite enough time for us to get our whole video set up. So, again, just audio for now, but we'll do the best that we can to paint a picture with our voices here. Again, 6 minutes to go here at Galesburg. Driving in is Kale Ryan, and the blocking foul. And he'll head to the stripe. I didn't see it. It didn't look like shot went down. That's the 3rd foul, though, on Tyson Swanson. And now Sterling getting a little bit of life back in them. And now something you got to watch for Metamora is now Swanson's got 3 with 5:55 to go here in the third quarter. If you're Danny Greasy, then you take him out of the game and you keep him in there and just try and let him keep up his good play that he's had tonight.
I'd argue that you keep him in there because even if he fouls out, odds are he at least finishes out this third quarter. And they need his points more than they need his defense at this rate. And those points could get a big enough lead where the fourth quarter, if they get to that point without him, they will need those extra points on that scoreboard versus his defense in the fourth quarter. So
I'll see if it's anything like the first half. It might be that way. Again, Metamora by 6 now. It's Drew Tucker near half court for Metamora. Here's Hop. Now back over to Tucker between the circles. Looking to drive. Had it picked away there by Kale Ryan to Galesburg, or Sterling rather, comes away with the steal. And a nice little head fake there from JP Schilling in transition. Drives it on Tucker. Stops right over the basket. Finds his man. Billings, wide open bucket. And Ryan Vasquez calls timeout for the Golden Warriors, who seems like they have a little bit of momentum, and Vasquez wants to keep it on their side. Calls that timeout. It's a full 5:23 to go here in the third quarter.
And this is exactly what you need to have from Sterling. You are down 9. You crawl back to within 4. The highest scoring player in the game is in foul trouble. This is exactly the position Sterling needs to be in to come back. And with 5:23 to go in the third, there's still plenty of time for the Golden Warriors, as there is not a single player on their team that has more than 2 fouls. So they are looking in good position to stay out of foul trouble for the rest of it here.
Certainly. Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a good one here in Galesburg. And Metamora looking to get back to super sectionals and win a sectional title for the second year in a row. Sterling, if they were to go to state, that'd be their first trip since 1950. Their last, didn't quite catch when their last regional title was, but this is the third time these teams have matched up in the postseason, Ethan. And all of them coming fairly recently. Sterling beat Metamora in the regional semis back in 2017. And Metamora beat them, though, in the sectional title game back in 2018. So this one's kind of the rubber match of sorts. And it's pretty neck and neck so far. So
that would be with both of these head coaches coaching these teams. So that makes it even better for this one.
Metamora with it. Now Kaiser feeds Swanson, drives in, hop, step, fade away, got it! Tyson Swanson just can't miss if he tried tonight. He got 20 of Metamora's 41. That one he kind of went in and then faded back and still got it to go. Now Sterling on the other end responds with a bucket down low. That one coming from Lucas Austin, who's now got 8.
And both of these teams on offense have been able to do just everything correctly, whether it's running their set pieces or whether it's just their transition game. They've been able to score at will so far, as that was a beautiful bucket there by Drew Tucker, just banging his man in the post for an easy layup.
Metamora now back up by 6. 43-37 here with 4:10 to go here at John Thiel Gymnasium. As Claver up top finds Billings, open 3 with Swanson in his face, couldn't get it to go. Luke Hop skies for the rebound, brings it in for the Redbirds, who will now slow it down with Swanson.
And in this game, we've definitely seen Metamora is using their height advantages when they can. And
wide open, Mason in the corner, and they close out on him hard, and then Mason just blew right past him for the baseline layup, and Mason now up to 8.
And Metamora is back up by enough where they can rest on offense slightly, but on defense they gotta add some pressure as they have these past couple possessions.
So they can't really rest at any point of the playoffs. Obviously then you get caught sleeping and 1 loss and you go home. But they gotta feel a little bit better about their lead now. I'm sure they may feel a little shocked coming out of the gate. Again, Sterling went up, if memory serves me correct, 13-4. At one point back in the first quarter. Now the inbound here, it goes to Austin. Now it goes to Kyle Billings. 3 ball from Austin. The forward gets it in the face of Kaiser. He is now in double figures, and now Sterling a big one that gets them back to within 5.
Both of these teams have been able to shoot the three ball fairly well, especially their big men tonight.
Yeah, Austin, I've been really impressed with him, the 6'6" junior forward. Again, averaging nearly over 16 points a game. Swanson goes up with it, misses. That was a tough look there. But Sterling, 3 players that average over 16 a game, but no more than 17. And Claver, Schilling, and Austin. So it's not like they have a definitive number 1 or number 2. It's 1A, 1B, and 1C. And anybody can be either 1A, 1B, or 1C any given night. Austin turns around on Kaiser. That would have been a nice, pretty bucket if it fell, but no good.
I was going to say 1A, 1B, 1C. It's whoever gets the hot hand that night.
And that pick away there from Claver. Now here's transition. Kale Ryan just lays it in. Thought he might get the slam, but Ethan Kaiser decided not to draw the foul. And timeout is called. Sterling roars back. A big little 5-0 run to get him to within 1 possession. Now 2:26 to go here at Galesburg in the 3rd quarter.
And with that, Metamora has been able to just do no wrong on the offensive side, but right there, the defense collapses on the fast break, and Sterling is able to get right back in within 3. Within a bucket, Metamora is about to have possession. If you're Metamora, what do you do here, John?
Well, obviously, I think you may want to get some stuff down low. Maybe, go back to your bread and butter, which has worked for them so far tonight, which has been, Swanson in the post, Kaiser maybe open for a 3. And obviously, anybody can really contribute. Drew Tucker and Tyler Mason can score at any level as well. So I think for Metamora, I think it's for them is just, stretch the floor and, find some ways to get some stops on defense, because if you can get it out in transition, make it a little bit easier. But it's Mason bringing it up now for Metamora. 2:15 here to go in the 3rd quarter. Winner will face Richwoods for a sectional title on Friday night at 7 p.m. right here in Galesburg. Swanson had fouled on the play. That one will go on Billions. And was there a...
I think that
It
looks like the Metamora fans are calling for a technical foul there.
Yeah, it looks like they were getting a little bit more animated than you usually would after a foul. Maybe could have been because they called it a shooting foul rather than a block, but Swanson's first free throw is good. Now that gives him 21. He scored, coming into this one, had scored 13 straight. All right, scored 13 in 2 straight games, I should say. And he had surpassed that in the 2nd quarter.
I was going to say, he scored 13 points this game. You just got to add 9 to that.
And we still have another quarter left to play. Metamora by 5. Now under 2 minutes to go here. Claver now working on Mason. Finds Ryan at the top of the key. Now Claver driving in with the right hand. Floater with one hand is no good, but Ryan right there grabs the miss. It originally was in the hand of a Redbird, but poked out, and Kale Ryan was right there and had the easy deuce.
And this game is just turning right into a classic at this point.
Kaiser had the open 3, but decided against it with Claver right in his grill. Mason with it, near the Thunderbolt at half court. Hop now finds Mason again. Doesn't take Hop's screen, now does, goes right, drives in, kicks out. Kaiser, wing 3, up and good! Ethan Kaiser, 9 points tonight, and all of them have come from behind the arc.
And just like that, Metamora wins the race to 50. But this is not an Elam ending all-star game, so.
No, and obviously, one of Bradley University's, I'm sure some people may know, both Bradley students right now, one of their most famous graduates, Ralph Lawler at Lawler's Law, had said the first team to 100 will win the basketball game. I don't know if anyone will get to 100 tonight, but you chop it in half. Metamora in control, but leading by 6. And again, everybody on Metamora's side is on their feet. They want a defensive stop to win the 3rd quarter. 20 seconds left to go.
I think it's funny you say Metamora's side because they kind of overtook Sterling's side over there too.
There's a little swath of red. Now 10 seconds. Here's JP Schilling. Working it on Tucker, deep 3. No good, and Kaiser gets the rebound. 3 on the clock. Still have time for a deep one at the horn. Pulls up near half court. Almost got it. It was right on line.
And that was just one heck of a way to end the third quarter. If that shot went in, the momentum would have been heavily in favor of Metamora, but right now, Sterling's right up there, only down 6, heading into the final 8 minutes of the game. And this will be a good final. I'm excited for the end of this game. I don't know about you, John.
I definitely am. I think if I wasn't, I probably wouldn't have a pulse. But it's been a great one so far in Galesburg. And, you know, it's funny, even before this game, I was down going to the bathroom, obviously, you know, before the game, after we got everything set up. And I heard, I believe were some Sterling students, some fans that had made the trek for this game, and they said that, you know, they said among themselves, oh, we're going to get slaughtered tonight. Well, turns out they were wrong. Sterling's been right in this one from the jump. And Metamora went down early in the first quarter. They were trailing 19-17 after one. Came back, took a 37-30 lead into halftime, outscoring the Golden Warriors 20-11 in that quarter. And in the third, Sterling gets them by a point, outscoring them 14-13. They're down 6, and this place is about to get pretty loud. Metamora's fans, some of the best traveling fans in the Peoria area, they're going to get pretty rowdy here in the fourth as they try and cheer on the Redbirds to a sectional title. Sterling looking to dash their hopes with an upset. Schilling driving in, got it to go. That ball stood still on the rim for over a second. That's Schilling's first bucket in a while and gets the Golden Warriors to within 4.
And that's the exact way that Sterling needs to start off this fourth quarter. Not an easy bucket, but it'll help get the passion on the team.
That was an impressive drive by Schilling as well, just to get to the cup in the first place. And a little bit of a Euro step, and you could see his expression on his face from our angle, and he was really fighting to get past some Redbirds and did there. Claver picks up a foul on the other end for Sterling and is their 4th, so neither team particularly close to getting in the bonus, although you never know how a fourth quarter can turn out. Kaiser finds Swanson, 3-pointer off the iron and gets his own rebound. Sterling has got to start boxing out and maybe just a bit more. Hop open down in the post. Tucker finds him and it passed out back to Swanson, but it was intercepted. No look past the transition. Now taken back by Mason. And he has it taken away at half court. 2-on-1 at Sterling. Schilling lays it in on Swanson. What a sequence.
3 turnovers there in just a short amount of time as the Metamora fans are livid. They thought that was a foul on the final one as Sterling has the momentum here just down to 6:37 left in the game.
Both teams maybe feeling the pressure a little bit, but wanting to play a little bit fast, maybe feeling a little sped up. 6:30 to go, Metamora by 2. Again, they led at 45-37, starting on an 11-5 run right now. Here's Swanson in the corner in front of the Bird's Nest student section. Now dribbles up top and gets past Phillips, and Phillips fouled him. That's certainly not one you want to pick up. He certainly wasn't trying to, and that'll be his first and then the team's 5th as he'll check out, and it looks like Kyle Billings, the senior guard, will come back in for Sterling.
And for Metamora, that's kind of what you needed, though. You wanted it to slow down the pace a bit. It's all on you here to just hold on to the ball and do your jobs.
Here's Mason with it now. Driving in left side, Euro step, and no call. Has some contact near the rim, and Metamora fans want it. They won't get it. Now Sterling could take the lead. Here's Schilling. He's been hot. Driving in on Tucker. Throws it up, and didn't get it to go. Almost did, but he'll head to the line. And Metamora will pick up their 4th foul of the second half. It'll go on Tucker, his 1st.
And now they have the opportunity to tie the game at the free throw line. Now timeout called there by Metamora, I believe.
It looks like it. Probably a good timeout there. Again, maybe feel like momentum slipping a bit out of their favor. We've seen Metamora play a couple times this year, Ethan, and most of their games they've looked pretty comfortable. They handled East Peoria in a pretty business-like fashion to win the regional title game back in Washington. They're winning that game 61-45, and they demolished Streeter 77-46. So they've played a couple close games, but for the most part have looked pretty strong. This may be the most treacherous game that they've been in maybe a couple weeks, leading by 2. Season on the line, 5:53 to go here.
So I'm curious, John, if you're Richwoods, which of these two teams do you want to match up against? Because they were able to match up against Peoria and Notre Dame fairly well, and they had 2 big guys. Metamora has 2 big guys in their starting lineup.
Now it's tough to make that call, at least right now. I gotta sit down and think about it, as Schilling's first free throw is good. He's got 19, and the impending one could give him 20 and the tie. It is nothing but nylon. 50 all here in Galesburg. It's that first one to 50, Ethan, but now since you said that, it's been all Sterling and knotting it up. 5:43 to go here. It's Tucker running the point for Metamora. Now gives it to Matthew Zobrist, the sophomore swingman, now in the game for Metamora. Swanson now over to Tucker.
Looks like Swanson and Schilling are competing for who has the most points in the game.
Tucker drives in and fouled by Billings. That's his 3rd. And that's the team's 6th. And that wasn't the act of shooting there on Tucker's drive. He'll shoot 2. Metamora, a team of very good free throw shooters if it comes down to it. And Tyson Swanson, I believe I interviewed him sometime. I think it was possibly during the Tournament of Champions, and he said that his free throw routine is absolutely ridiculous. I think he shoots something like maybe like 100, I think, like each day or something like that. Can't remember exactly what it is, but shows you the dedication that they have to the little things over at Metamora, as Tucker gets free throw number 2 to fall, and Redbirds back up on top.
I will say this, the thing about shooting free throws, college kids always seem to miss free throws, and they always practice them.
Here is Austin wide open down low. Gets it to go for Sterling. Now we're back in tied, 5-10. And still no team has taken a definitive advantage. Tucker spins to the lane, throws one up. What a shot that was to even get that one off. Did a 360 in the air, and then kind of a double clutch, brought the ball up, brought it down, tried to spin it off the glass, and drew some contact. Lucas Austin with his 3rd foul for Sterling.
And now Sterling has 2 players with 3 fouls, albeit just 5. There's still 5 minutes left. So foul trouble, but it's not the worst it could be for them.
Tucker drops in a free throw. Got 14 now for the senior. Again, Metamora, if you're not familiar with them, maybe you're watching, tuning in from Sterling. Very experienced squad. Went to the state title game last year, and a ton of juniors. Only lost 1 senior, Zach Schroeder, who's now playing at Wabash College in Indiana. Everybody else, though, they pretty much bring back, at least that plays significant minutes. Now down up 1, so he could take the lead. It's Austin, or rather Ryan down low, and he smokes the layup. And it'll be a foul. Claver reached in, wanted the jump ball. That'll be a foul and a 1-and-1. That's big there. Claver definitely didn't want to pick up that one. That's his 3rd. Metamora fans pretty happy, and Sterling fans, let's just say that they're not too happy. Kaiser will be the one to shoot 1-and-1 for Metamora. First one is up and off the iron and the backboard, and no good. Sterling lucks out there. Now here's Schilling. Dribbles past Swanson, now on Tucker in the lane. Spins, kicks, Billings 3 for the corner is no good. Tucker brings in the board and almost had it taken away from him. Metamora's got to get it across, and they do with Swanson. 4:22 to go. Kaiser almost shot the deep 3, then kicked it back out.
And right there, Swanson nearly knocked down his defender, but the refs call it just a falling down, no foul, continue play.
And yeah, I saw a couple of Metamora fans yelling. They're not sure why exactly, because Swanson could have been called for the foul there. A little perplexed, but 4 minutes left to go now, and it's, again, Metamora by 1. John Thiel Gymnasium is rocking. Winner has her hope still alive. Mason drives in, layup good. Mason now in double figures for Metamora.
And this here for Sterling, this is do or die. You need to score. You need to continue to run your offense as you did the entire first half as the clock ticks down, 3:30 left.
Here's Schilling driving in. Got it to go past Tucker and one. What a veteran play. A star player play by JP Schilling. It's not easy to just take Drew Tucker under the basket like that, receive some contact and finish, and he did. Tucker picks up his second foul, and now Schilling up to 22 on the night with a chance to tie it back up. And it's up and good. And what a stretch he's playing in, Ethan. Has that triple-double, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists in their last game against Ottawa. Now he has 23 tonight.
And now, with that 23rd point, he now is the leading scorer of the game, albeit still 3 minutes left.
Mason's three from the wing is good. Tyler Mason, 5 straight for the Redbirds. And the fans love it. What will Sterling do to respond? This has been a call and response game all night long. Now with under 3 minutes to go, it's almost necessary that they get one. Schilling drives it in, lays it in off the glass. And Sterling looks like they will call timeout. And they have 2 remaining. Metamora has 4. And now there's some more scoreboard controversy as they accidentally gave that bucket to Metamora.
And the ref lets the coaches know that it's about time. 58-55. Metamora leads, and it
should be 58. There it is. Now it's 58-57.
There we go.
And it is. Ethan, I'll give you credit. You were right on it. Updating our scoreboard. You had it right pretty much the entire time. 2:49 to go. Again, Sterling led for the early portions of this one. Went up by 9 in the first quarter. Metamora came back and took the lead with about halfway through the second quarter. They've been in control since. But Sterling has slowly but surely mounted a comeback here in the second half, thanks to 23, at least it says on the scoreboard, for JP Schilling. Either way, he's played an outstanding game and he's been helped by Lucas Austin's 13. And Sterling's played some really good defense here as well as they bring out the man. Mason's in some trouble and throws it away. Sterling not the other way. Here comes Schilling, driving in, and his layup was no good. Scrum looking for the ball, and now Metamora comes away with it. Mason drives it in on the much bigger Austin, finds Tucker, and one! Listen to the crowd.
I will say, right there after Sterling, they were fighting for that offensive rebound almost a bit too hard as 2 players got left in the dust as they got tangled up on themselves as they tried to continue on in their...
Indeed they did. It was sort of a 5-on-3 leading to that opportunity there for Metamora. Now with 2:09 left to go, Sterling now down 2 possessions. And Schilling with the ball now. He doesn't want anybody else to have it, it seems like. Wait, pass down low, kick it back out to Schilling, inside out action, and his 3 ball is off the mark. Luke Hopp brings in the rebound for Metamora, who's done the little things in the last minute or two. And I feel a lot better about themselves now. Just gotta hang on to the basketball and make your free throws. Minute 40 left to go now. Tucker drives it in on Austin, and he gets fouled as well. Schilling can't believe it, but Tucker will head to the line for a pair.
At this point, you got to question, do they go into the foul game this early, albeit still 1:40 left? They want to continue their pace and give themselves more time on offense.
Well, certainly, and again, that's the 10th foul there for Sterling. So now that puts Metamora in the double bonus. And again, I think that Sterling's played some good defense and they'll come away with some turnovers. So, and again, as we mentioned earlier, Metamora, not a team you want to foul too terribly much. Lots of good shooters as Tucker knocks down the first free throw. He's put together a great game for Metamora with 18, and his second one is off the mark, so Sterling down 5. Certainly enough time and not a huge deficit for them. They're going to need a couple big shots. Down low, it's Claver turning in, and one! Got it to go on Drew Tucker.
And that's exactly what Sterling needed. They needed to hit a 3. They had the opportunity for an old school 3 now. Just down 62-59, 127 left with Andre Claver up for his and one opportunity.
Claver's had a quiet night for Sterling. Has just got 4 points. The average is 17, leads the team. There's a big play there, Ethan, because as the 16th foul on Metamora, Claver knocks down the free throw. And now any foul that Metamora makes will send Sterling to the line. Previously, they would have had a foul to give before sending them to the stripe, but that's a huge play there for Sterling, arguably one of the best outcomes they could have had.
And now you got
to be hop to inbound. Go ahead.
Now you got a question with no shot clock. Will they foul?
Certainly a minute 20 left to go. Mason gets it across the line. He's working on Claver, right in his grill. Man-to-man defense. Kaiser feeds out low to Tucker and goes up. Wild shot, but he was fouled there by Kay O'Ryan. And Drew Tucker will shoot 2 at the line. Probably not the worst foul if you're Sterling. Tucker, a maestro down in the paint. And he just went 1 for 2, so see if he can better fortunes this time. First one is good. Tucker now at 19, looking to join his teammate Tyson Swanson in the 20-point club as Zobrist checks out for Metamora. 1:11 to go in Galesburg. Sectional title berth on the line. Tucker knocks down number 2 and is back to a 4-point lead for Metamora. 107. Claver driving in on Tucker now near the baseline. And lost handle of it. Turned around, couldn't find it. Swanson comes away with it for Metamora, and he's fouled. And Metamora can taste it a little bit more now. Just a hair under a minute left to play.
And right here for Metamora, you are not safe just yet. Only up 4, 59 seconds left. 2 free throws coming.
Certainly not. And Swanson knocks down the first free throw. Although you got to be feeling good. But, you know, Sterling could come down and knock down a 3 and get a turnover, knock down another one. Certainly, if you're Metamora, you don't want to see the ball in J.P. Schilling's hands. Swanson goes 2 for 2 at the line, now up to 24. Metamora by 6. Here's Schilling. Double teamed up top. Now Kaiser drops off. It's Mason on him. Drives it in the lane. Lays it in. J.P. Schilling can slash with the best of them. He's got 25 for Sterling. Now a 4-point game. And it looks like the Golden Warriors called timeout. So they just have 1 remaining. Again, Sterling, a great year that they've had this year. 24-8. 8-6 in the Western Big 6. Again, who's their playoff candidates are Moline, obviously with Iowa commits Brock Harding and Owen Freeman. Almost said Braden Freeman. That's Owen's brother, who's a very good player in his own right. But you saw Rock Island, they dropped out, and they lost to Richwoods last night. Sterling trying to be one of those teams to keep the Western Big 6 banner alive. Some games they've had this year, Ethan, they've scored over 90 points. So very potent offense, averaging 68.2 a game. As is Metamora. A win tonight for Metamora, Ethan. Again, just looking through our notes here. We give them back-to-back 30-win seasons for the first time in Metamora high school history. So there's a little nugget there. Metamora is playing for history tonight.
And for Metamora, you just got to be able to hit your free throws down the stretch here.
They inbound it. Here's Claver. They're not going to foul immediately. Now 43 to go. Mason still in the half court. Gets it across. Bullet pass to Swanson. He handled it. Now Kaiser off the feed from Swanson. Flies in and lays it in. Huge bucket for Metamora. Now Sterling needs a big one. Schilling's 3 barely grazes the iron. And Zobrist brings it in, but his foot was on the line. So Sterling will take a deep breath. They at least have a chance to get it to 3. 25.9 is what the clock says right now. Sterling needs a bucket. They inbound it. Austin, step back 3, got it! Lucas Austin, ice in the veins, and Sterling now within 3. Metamora's got to do something. They don't call timeout, and now they do. Danny Greaves takes his second, and boy, I was wondering if they were going to. Can't take it back to Metamora with you, and they were in a little bit of trouble there in the backcourt. So with 14.1 seconds remaining, so Metamora now by 3. You're the Redbirds, you got to assume that Sterling is probably going to start playing the foul game now. It's right too late to try and risk and say, hey, we'll gamble on getting a turnover.
For sure, unless they're able to somehow trap him in the backcourt and it's deep enough, I think that realistically, Sterling's going to have to foul. And Metamora, you mentioned it, they're a terrific free throw shooting team. So Sterling's hoping for a miracle at the charity stripe or a great steal off the inbounds. Again,
Swanson and Tucker have looked really good from the stripe tonight, both of them with 20 points. Ethan Kaiser hasn't been to the line yet, so maybe he's a candidate if you're Sterling right now to send to the line. Luke Hopp is also in the game, and he has not scored, so I don't think he's been to the line either. Tyler Mason in the game also for Metamora. I probably don't want to send him to the line. He's a good shooter and has got 13 tonight. So it will be Swanson inbound. Full court press coming on for Sterling. They almost get a steal, and Schilling fouls Tucker with 12.5 to go. So good effort there by Sterling, the Golden Warriors, to try and get one right away. Just couldn't quite take it away from Tucker.
They almost got it too. It was probably just an extra finger lengths away.
By the skin of their teeth.
They were close, and now they're hoping for 2 misses here or a quick score down the line after Metamora shoots these.
Only 2 shots for Tucker in his first one at the front rim, the back rim, one up in the air, and it's no good.
And Metamora is giving Sterling fans a lot of hope here. If Tucker misses this, Sterling just needs to get the rebound.
Couple hands on the head in the Sterling student section. First one trickles in off the iron. Big free throw there. Now with 10 seconds left to go, Sterling needs a miracle. 8 seconds, Schilling, 3 ball, is good. Now 4.3. JP Schilling knocked out a crazy shot. Just couldn't quite get the foul though. I'm sure he wanted to draw one. That one would have maybe tied it up. What a step back 3 from JP Schilling. That was easily college range, maybe NBA range.
That was perhaps the best 3 I think we've seen all season. That was not a half quarter.
Yeah, certainly. That was near the volleyball line, a very deep one. And again, Schilling, you can just see it wants the ball in his hands, and why not? Can't exactly call him a ball hawk. He's done great things for Sterling's offense tonight.
And he's going to have to continue doing that if they're able to get the ball back in these final 4 seconds.
Yeah, 4.3 to go. Again, low game reset for you. Metamora, he's got 6 fouls, 3 timeouts left. Sterling has 1 timeout left. And they've only committed 2 fouls.
No, they've committed 13.
Oh, rather, yeah, that would be 12. So my apologies there. I forgot that. I say Metamora, I definitely seemed like they were in the double bonus.
As Sterling used their final timeout there. So
4.3 to go, so they need a very quick foul or a steal. Again, Swanson inbounds, looking, finds Tucker. I need a foul quick. Austin gets him with 2.9 to go.
And he almost missed him there too.
He almost did, and that would have, again, any millisecond right now is precious for Sterling. So again, that 3 from Schilling is huge because even if Tucker goes 2 for 2 at the line, if Sterling can get a prayer, they could tie it up. Or if Tucker goes 1 for 2, they could win it. First one is good, nothing but net.
And you got to kind of question it here. If you are Metamora, do you miss the second one on purpose?
I certainly don't think so, because then a 3-ball wins it. And again, you don't want to test JP Schilling too much. He could knock one down. Tucker goes 2 for 2. Sterling needs a prayer. Got 2.9. Goes to Schilling near half court, and they fouled him. Great, smart play there by Tyler Mason. They fouled up 3. Outstanding coaching there by Danny Greaves, and great job, great awareness by Tyler Mason. 1.1 to go on the clock, so Sterling, lay it out for us, Ethan. What do they need to do here?
So right here for Sterling, Schilling needs to make this first one, shoot it off the front rim, grab it, put it up in 1 second. It's been done before.
First one's good. So now they pretty much have to keep their season on the line, not before Danny Greaves calls timeout.
As Metamora ices him.
Yeah, pretty much have to miss this one, so maybe Sterling will talk to Schilling in the huddle about how are we going to get him, or how are we going to miss his free throw, and maybe what side, maybe try and throw it off the side of the rim, then off the backboard, off the carom, and then maybe goes to a Golden Warrior. Looking at their roster, Ethan, their tallest players are Lucas Austin at 6'6". They got Rowan Workman at 6'3", Claver at 6'3" as well. And they also got Maddox Osborne, 6'4", a sophomore forward as well. So maybe just throw in all the height you got, try and box out. But certainly I think if you want to miss it, I think it's going to be Lucas Austin that's probably going to try and grab it in, and he's got Luke Hopp next to him.
I'm thinking
the battle of the box out.
Yep.
1.1 to go, and Schilling down 2. They need to miss it. Misses. Oh, and he threw it in off the backboard, and it went right in. JP Schilling missed it made it when he had to miss. And a timeout called there by Metamora. So with 1.1 to go, Metamora leads by 1, and JP Schilling has done all that he can to keep Sterling in this game, but that was the only one that he wanted to miss.
At this point, if you are Sterling, foul a guy off the ball.
Sterling you either got to foul a guy off the ball before they even inbound it, or you have got to immediately seal the inbound and just toss it up as soon as you pretty much get it in your hands. And so the door is still open for Sterling with 1.1 to go.
And the only problem for Sterling here, not having the timeout, because if they were to foul, grab a rebound on the second shot, they'd at least have a prayer of a half-court, full-court shot. That second free throw, if they're able to get the foul in,
they got to inbound it right away. Pretty much every fan, at least on the Metamora side, is on their feet. Again, Swanson will inbound with 1.1 to go. And will it be another, and nope, it's a foul. You called it there, Ethan. That's a push, and obviously that's the best thing to do if you are Sterling, other than come away with a steal. Kale Ryan was the one that picked it up, if you're curious. That's 4 on him. And Lucas Austin also has 4 as well.
Now here's the thing if you're Metamora. You make the first one, and then the second one.
You might want to miss the second one. Make Sterling go the full length of the court. Kaiser knocks it down. Could go either way, though, here. Up 2. And Hop comes back in for Metamora. Zobrist comes out. If they throw one in, then Sterling would win the game. But if you make this one and they throw up a prayer, then we go to overtime. Kaiser sets. Second one is off the mark, off the back iron. Austin threes it with one hand, and it's long enough, but not good. Metamora hangs on in an absolute thriller. What a ball game down the stretch of the Redbirds. Squeak by the Golden Warriors and keep their hopes of a repeat trip to state alive.
And that was one heck of a game there. Swanson and Tucker for Metamora just absolutely dominated this game. As for Sterling, they put their hearts into this game. As you mentioned, their fans didn't think they had as much of a shot as they should have. And just like that, they came within 2 of perhaps the best team in Class 3A.
Certainly, and what a ball game. Just the competitiveness on both sides was on full display tonight. Both teams played at very high levels. It was a fun, exciting game to watch. JP Schilling, at least unofficial numbers, at least from the scoreboard here at John Thiel Gymnasium, leads all scores with 27. Then you got Swanson who put up 24, had a huge first half. Drew Tucker really came alive in the second half for the Redbirds, ends with 23. Kaiser and Mason also in double figures with 12 and 13 respectively. But if you're Metamora, Ethan, obviously you move on. You face Richwoods for the sectional title game, but probably a little bit too close for comfort. I'm sure Danny Greaves and the rest of them would say. But it's close wins like that, though, could benefit you as you start to get deep in the playoff run and kind of counter more of those closer games.
For sure. And now you head to Richwoods. As I mentioned a bit before, they're able to handle the bigger players, so it's going to be very key on the guards of Metamora heading into Richwoods after this phenomenal game.
What a game it was. Sterling ends the season 24-9. A win tonight would have given them the school record. They had 124 in a season 3 different times in 1941, 1976, and 1990. And they came oh so close tonight for their winningest season in school history. Great job done there by Ryan Vasquez's squad. Competed the entire game. Again, JP Schilling, what a night he had. Knocked down some crazy shots, both at the rim and the three-point line as well. Although when he was at the free throw line, though, he maybe made it out when he wanted to miss. Tossed it off the backboard and couldn't get it to fall off the rim and tipped it back in, went right in. And that brought Sterling to within one, but then it gave the ball back to Metamora. So many things happened here late in this game. Ethan, I mean, just super exciting game to watch, and glad everyone spent it with us here on Clutch Sports Media, because that was Illinois playoff basketball at its best.
For sure, and I cannot wait till Friday's matchup, where Metamora will take on Sterling, or excuse me, Metamora will take on Richwoods on Friday. And John, I believe you said we will have video coverage of that?
We will see. It will obviously depend on the NFHS situation, but we have our crew available. Obviously, it's a big basketball weekend. We got Arch Madness down in St. Louis this weekend. I know some of our staff members down will be at, but either way, whether it's audio or video, we'll do our best to be here in the building at Galesburg on Friday. Again, Friday is also the girls' state tournament as well, so Peoria High looking to get a state title potentially. But again, Friday's gonna be a great day for basketball, and really, Ethan, what it shows is, again, you know, we've all these, you know, Peoria area teams. They've played a couple teams from not around the area, and again, they've had some great battles. Again, Rock Island, don't want to take anything away from them. They were a great team, as was Sterling, but it really just shows how good the basketball is in Metamora and the entire Peoria area. And they face off with all these out of, you know, non-Peoria teams, and so far, in boys and girls, it seems like they've won almost every time.
They have, and it really goes to show you that these mid-sized schools around Peoria have just been pure dominance. And I look forward. States coming up for boys and girls. States starts Friday, you said?
That starts Thursday. Peoria High will play on
Friday.
On Friday. They will indeed.
So this looks like it's going to be a very, very fun weekend of basketball coming up here.
Indeed, the Knights and the Redbirds, two of the best teams in the state, will face off for a sectional title. Although it very well could be a state title given how great of seasons both of them are having. One of them, though, will come to an end on Friday here in Galesburg. But for now, what a thrilling game between the Metamora Redbirds, who win 30 straight, or 30 for the season for 2 years straight. They've won 28 in a row now, so if they were to get to state, that would mean that they would win 30 in a row. It's certainly possible for them. That about wraps things up here from Galesburg. I want to thank all of our viewers who tuned in for our live audio coverage tonight, especially those who weren't able to tune in due to NFHS. I'm Jonathan Michael. Alongside me is Ethan Carboni and Francisco Alonso with us as well, taking some pictures and updating our social media coverage as well. You can find us on Instagram at Clutch Sports Media and on Twitter at ClutchSportsIL.com. Stay tuned to both of those channels and our Facebook, Clutch Sports Media, for schedule announcements that'll be coming potentially later this week. But for now, so long from Galesburg. It'll be Metamora and Richwoods set to do battle for a sectional title here on Friday night. Have a good night. So long, folks.